everybody. I'm Philip.
And I'm Justin.
And together, we are Pajamas. And we are embarking on episode 9 of season 3 of Doctor Who. We finished episode 8 a little while ago. We were going to wait until tomorrow to do episode 9 because we have, it's one of our rare 2-night weekends that we have together.
But we could barely resist.
Yeah, like, I was like, should we do some Loki instead? And maybe do another Doctor Who tomorrow night? But then as we read in lunch, I'm like, I really want to know what happens. So yes, we're going to attempt to power through this one. Warning up for the video now. Much hotter than it was last time we were recording for episode 8. So yes, it's a thing and I'm uncomfortable, but here it is what it is. Without further ado, let's jump right into part 2 of Human Doctor and the family and see what the heck is going on with little Tommy having the watch. Are you ready? All right, without further ado, let's get into it.
Their lifespan is running out, so we hide. Wait for them to die.
Oh, their lifespan is running out. I didn't catch that last time. How did I forget the easiest solution to this? Go to your room!
Oh,
That's always the answer whenever they're in peril. And we end on the cliffhanger. Although if he did, I would mark out if he did say that.
Looks too scared.
Scared and holding a gun's a good combination. Do you want to risk it?
Nice.
Don't just stand there, move! God, you're rubbish as a human!
I disagree.
Find out what she was keeping secret.
Soldiers! So, Baines and one of the cleaning staff. There's always a woman involved. Am I to...
What do you know of history, sir? What do you know of next year?
But there is no cause on God's earth that would allow me to see this child in the field of battle, sir. Come
What
with
about
me.
them?
This'll splash him out. This'll do it. Super fun.
Super fun. They're like bombing the village. More innocent civilians are dying. I know I'm an asshole right now, I know. It's very touching, it is. But
like I said a few episodes ago, people die every day.
Just make himself human. He made himself an idiot.
Same thing, isn't it?
oh, you're stuck in your human bodies.
Tricked my mother into the event horizon of a collapsing galaxy, to be imprisoned there.
Wow.
Come with me. Sorry. Travel with me. Because everything that John Smith is and was, I'm capable of that too. Please come with me.
I can't.
Why not?
No means no.
John Smith is dead. And you look
God.
like him.
You gonna tell Martha what you just said there, Doctor?
That was a very touching episode.
Yeah, it was. That was like Doctor Who, the emotion, the emotions. Jeez.
There were things that needed to be said, and they were finally said.
Well, this episode belonged to 2 people. It belonged to the main villain. I think it was his name was Baines. He kind of hammed it up a little bit, but as I said in the last video, he was cast perfectly. Every scene he was in, he just like chewed it up. I honestly don't think you could have cast him any better.
Oh yes, he made an excellent villain.
He was just so like sneery evil. It was just, and like I said before, his physical features and his delivery was spot on. Like he was just very expressive and looked very sinister, and it was great casting on him. He did a great job. And then obviously David Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
That was I think the struggle with John Smith versus the Doctor was really well done. I have some issues at the end there, but it just reaffirms that, and I haven't really bitched about it in a long time, so give me credit, But John Smith was tolerable. When he went back to the doctor, he started doing like douchey things again. And it's like, you just came back. Can you wait a little bit? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Overall, though, yes, fantastic episode. And two-parter, probably one of the stronger two-parters.
Yes.
If not the strongest two-parter. That was just really good storytelling overall. A nice little bow at the end, little epilogue with old Tommy's character as an old man. He didn't die from a bomb after all, like we thought. That was gonna be very sad.
And he was able to see them one last time.
Yeah, it was very touching. Yeah,
And they even wore the red poppies.
Oh, what did that? I just saw that they did that. What did that signify?
It's in honor of the fallen.
Ah, okay. Was that like a British thing?
There's a day, Remembrance Day,
Mm-hmm.
in which at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, that they will remember those that fought in World War One.
Gotcha.
It was it was a very devastating war.
Yeah, I know about the war. I just know that I'm an American. As an American, we are very jingoist in our schooling, in our education, and I haven't really done much in like British history and studies. And like in college, I chose other things. Like I chose like women's history, African American history, stuff like that. So, which is cool. Like I learn new things. I like to learn new things. So we probably have customs here in America that some of you out there might not know. But then again, we are in your face about everything. So you probably already know it. I mean, we essentially live in a country that is just like, we're not even really a country. We're just like a giant propaganda machine. And yeah, but we're not here to talk about that. We're not here to discuss America and how we wish we didn't live here. Adopt us, someone, please.
Let's talk about what the doctor was saying about himself. His identity crisis. He was weighing these two options of being either this or that.
I have 3 pages of notes. I think it's the most amount of notes I've ever taken. So I wanted to capture so much of the dialogue.
Yes.
That I could.
It was an interesting way of him having self-awareness without actually being self-aware of who he actually was.
I was looking for a specific quote. Well, it was interesting to see him. Sorry, I can't get comfortable. It's so like muggy.
There's this thing called humidity, and it's something that makes summer more intolerable.
It's kicking in. Just to see his view of the Doctor through that prism of John Smith was really neat. Like, this was fantastic writing. I do have some nitpicks. I do. But overall, just to treat the Doctor as like a character study, as the Doctor, as John Smith, reacting to the Doctor, as John Smith. So not only was it cool to see like the Doctor be human, it was cool to see the Doctor be human reacting to becoming the Doctor again and weighing that option. And the pros and the cons.
Especially considering that he fell in love.
Yeah, like there was so much good stuff here. Let me see if I can find some of the quotes that I wrote real quick. Before I get to these, he almost like was just like calling out the Doctor on being the Doctor. Like those little parts that might bother me bothered him because he's not the Doctor. He's a human being reacting to the Doctor. But like when he was talking to Martha, he says, "What do you do for him? Why does he need you? Because he's lonely. And that's what you want me to become?" That was a good line. That was a good line. Just seeing that human Doctor struggle. And the matron, I forget her name now, I'm sorry. She was like, you need to help these people, and we need to find the watch and all that stuff. And then when he has the watch, she's like, "John, don't." So she had this own struggle herself. So it wasn't just the Doctor's struggle, it was her struggle. She'd fallen in love with John Smith, and John Smith had fallen in love with her. And by all accounts, they were going to have a long life together and raise a family. John Smith says falling in love didn't occur to him because it wouldn't. Like he's an alien. So like when I think he gets predatory and a little too like, come on, you want to come with me? You want to come with me? Come with me. It's like, dude, chill. So when he gets like that, I'm looking at it from like the human point of view. Like you're being really predatory and kind of gross. But then again, I've learned to look at it from the other perspective of, he's an alien. He's lonely. He doesn't understand bonds and interactions. That's why he gets so like latchkey onto people, mostly females. Okay, always females. Martha is just like, I like how smart she's written. I like how she's intelligent. Yay, Martha, for this episode. Yay, Martha, again, because Martha's fucking awesome. Martha has said, he is everything to me, and he doesn't see me, and I don't care.
Very touching.
Yeah, that's being selfless. She appreciates the adventure. She appreciates being with the doctor so much that she knows her feelings aren't reciprocated. And I'm thinking that she's smart enough to know that they're not reciprocated because it's a foreign concept. Like, even when the doctor was going to tell Rose that he loved her back, which he never did, even if he was going to say that to her, it wouldn't have been the same. But Martha has enough, intelligence and emotional intelligence, which is just as important, to understand that I think if the doctor ever said, I loved you back, or said that he loved her, it would not be on the same level. It would be in his own way. Like, in his way, he did love Rose.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like anything like what Rose felt for him. Martha's it feels like a healthier love. But even if the doctor says, I love you, to her, it would be the same kind of love. The bond is different and the personality is different, but his concept of love to me is the same.
She took it back, though, at the end of the episode, which I really don't think should have been done.
So then to circle back, he says, falling in love didn't occur to him, and now you expect me to die. And then him telling her that your job was to execute me. And that's so powerful.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Because for the doctor, of course. I'm going to become this thing. Then when it's ready, boom, let's do it. But again, they didn't account for John Smith falling in love. The doctor didn't account for love because the doctor doesn't understand love in the human realm. So I don't like the clingy, vulture-y way he does things. And I'll get to that when we get to my notes. But I understand it. So I'm prefacing it now. I get it. Doesn't make anything else annoying to have to sit through. This is old doctor, doctor we know, versus new doctor, John Smith, like the ideology of both. Doctor is doing this to hide because I didn't hear it in the first episode. They have short lives, like 3 months, like mayflies, and they'll die. Then they'll be okay. Totally makes sense. But then there's the unknown variables. He had like 23, 24 rules for Martha, and the one he didn't account for is one of the greatest unknowns of humanity. Love. And then just what love did to him as a human with human emotions and how it just ripped him apart.
Well, humans are very unpredictable.
Yes, they are.
So I suppose that it is difficult to plan for the unpredictable because it is, by definition, unpredictable.
Yeah, because the doctor's more like a machine. Even when he turned from like John Smith to the doctor, was like, it was like beep, 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 beep. He just turns like into the, which was a great scene too. When he like his personality shifted from scared human to confident doctor, which now you can see why he's so confident all the time, borderline cocky and arrogant. But this episode shows you kind of why. Where if you're a new viewer, you just start with this guy. Now that we see the dichotomy between what human doctor would be and then Time Lord doctor would be, and then just as these conflicts of interest are just wonderful to think about. And they were wonderfully done.
He doesn't seem, though, to have learned from this episode, considering that he went back to saying, "Come with me." Even though he should have realized from going through this that in order for her to be able to move on, she needs to grieve for her loss. And to travel with him, well, that's only going to be a perpetual reminder, a reminder of what could have been.
Because he's such... Here we go. It's almost like a child. A little child, like a toddler. Like a 2-year-old child wants something. They don't care if they should have it. They just care that they want it. And if you tell them no, they still want it. So he's not thinking about how it's going to affect her, because in the end, to put it bluntly, he doesn't care. He just cares about having her there. In his mind, he is giving her the chance to be around him and experience all these things, but he's not understanding that it's not him she wants to be around. She'll see, the aesthetic. Mm-hmm. But everything that made him John Smith is gone. And I said before, in the last video, that attraction and stuff is more than what you see on the surface. Attraction can go deeper than that, and who you are as a person. And a doctor and John Smith are polar opposites, obviously. One's a Time Lord, one's a human. Like, the last 5 minutes, y'all, was just peak, classic, shitty Tenet Doctor. One is cake and eating it too. Like, were you going to replace Martha? Are you ever going to tell Martha that you almost brought another companion along? I think she deserves to know. Like,
Imagine what would have happened if she would have said yes.
That chunk from him visiting her to them, Martha and the doctor getting back on the TARDIS was so problematic for me. And I'm not going to harp on it. I'm not going to go on a ranty rant about it. Y'all by now know how I feel about Tennant's Doctor when he acts the way he does. But you cannot deny that this in that like 5 to 10 minute period, he was hitting all his greatest hits there. And I get it, he's no longer human anymore. So he can't see it from the matron's point of view. He thinks he's actually trying to do something nice. I get that. Come with me, no. Come with me, no. Come with me, no. It's like, she said fucking no. No means no. Like, fuck. And good on her for saying no.
I actually thought that by going through the human experience that it would have given him some sort of
perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
It would have been an existential moment for him, but it seems that
no. I think he was just like, he remembers the events happening, but the emotion is gone. That's why I said, like, now that I understand that the doctor doesn't deal in emotion like we do, so all these things I'm seeing as predatory and creepy and kind of fucking shitty, he's just seen as being kind and generous and opportunistic. But I think his opportunistic tendencies can go both ways. Would it have been cool if he had a little more, a little tinge of something left from John Smith in him? Yeah. Maybe a lesson learned. But then again, you do that, and then you alter the presentation of the Doctor from here on out, because you've altered the way that the Doctor operates. And if it's not broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. I get why they didn't. I do wish as well that they had. That would have been cool. I just don't think it was necessary for him to invite her on as a companion. Let's just go over like this scene I've written down. You know, first he walks in, she's like, "Oh my God, it's you," and I thought you look the same and all that, and yeah. Again, she's telling you how hard it is. I'm like raising my voice. I'm gonna get mad. I'm not even really upset about it. Just want to talk about it. She's telling me, like, this is hard for me. You still look like the person I fell in love with. And, she says, could you change back? Yes. And then she asks, will you? No. Okay, well, that tells her all she needs to know right there.
Which is actually obvious. Why would he? He would basically be killing himself.
Yeah. So, unless they put it back into a watch again, and then you have to, like, what do you do? Give it to Martha? Hold on to this for 60 years while I grow old with this woman that I love and have children and a family, and you just stand by and watch as this all happens. Unless he makes her the new Time Lord. I don't. Can he put like the Time Lord stuff into her with the helmet thing? I don't know.
But what about her? Is she expected to allow this? Because as she stated, she wants to have a relationship with the Doctor.
That's what I'm saying. Like she would be forced to watch all this, while the Doctor, as John Smith, would have a. But like I said, they could handle it any way they wanted. Then they could make her the new Time Lord if they wanted to. They could figure it's sci-fi. They could figure something out.
When is it her turn?
It wasn't meant to be her turn. Yeah, it's not meant to be her turn. Like, I don't know what you do with her. Like, if this is a hypothetical. What if he said yes? What if he said yes? I'll turn back for you. And then he did. Like, that's a really interesting thing to think about. What happens? We know what's gonna happen with them because we saw their future. What happens with Martha? Like, that would be an interesting episode. Like, he decides to turn back, and Martha's just like, excuse me? What about me? Where do I go? And then that struggle with her heart and her, as we talked before, with the heart and the head. That struggle that she's having as this Lothario just travels through time, breaking hearts and making women sad. But then he says, come with me. What do you mean? Travel with me as my companion. I'm just like,
I would have thought that he would have learned to not do that.
I know a lot of you who get angry with me are going to do so, and that's totally fine. It's fine. I don't think that was necessary. It was a shitty thing to say. I just didn't like it. If you liked it, totally cool. I can see how people just think it's a harmless thing. On paper it is, but I think it was like, dude, read the room. She was giving you all the hints. And again, I understand why he can't pick up on it. I get it. He's a Time Lord. He's an alien. Totally understand that.
But I think that he could have said something a bit more sentimental than that.
Exactly. Yes. I'm not saying don't say anything, but say something with more tact. Like, as you said, she's trying to grieve and come to terms with what's going on. This is fucking weird to her, obviously. Like, you find out the person you love, that you fell in love with, is an alien. It's a Time Lord from a different planet. Now, be my companion. What?
That's probably a much better way of thanking her than doing that.
Then it's all like, look in my eyes. And it's just like, stop trying to manipulate people. Stop it. I know y'all love Tennant's doctor. I know you do. My friends out there that watch this, he's your favorite doctor. Every single one of you. Every one of you, without fail. David Tennant's your favorite doctor. And that's fine. That's fine. But this stuff right here is just what really gets under my skin with him.
Look into his eyes? Well, exactly, which is why she cannot go.
Because they're not his eyes anymore. He's doing it. Like, you tell me he doesn't. And, you know, everything is subjective. Opinions are allowed to be heard. Good and the bad. Oh, there's a train coming. Nothing we can do about it. Just that 5 to 10 minutes of the episode were so problematic for me. And I didn't like them. And it didn't in any way detract from the overall story. As we said earlier, it was fantastic. Really great writing. Fantastic writing. Great acting. This was good storytelling. Except for that part, to me. I get why they put it in there. I don't think it was necessary. That'd be awkward. I'm glad she said no, because that would have been some awkward Doctor Who.
Yes, a very severe miscalculation, especially after hearing Martha really implying that she actually would have liked to have had some sort of loving relationship. And, well, then to invite her because of that's an immense miscalculation.
Thinking that he's doing something noble and nice. And, you know, I understand he thinks he's doing good. But from the human perspective, I'm looking at it from both points of view here. From the human perspective, not cool, dude. Not cool. And then, brilliant line by the matron. If you didn't choose here, if you didn't come to this point in time, would anyone have died? And that was her choice. And that was brilliant writing. Fantastic writing. I'm going to have to see if the person that wrote this wrote any others that we've seen already. Because this was really just fantastic. Fantastic. Because then right here, it's like, it comes down to what he wants versus humanity, which he doesn't have anymore. So, you know, it's deep, and, you know, it's not, and I might be making it sound cut and dry. And it's not. But it's not cut and dry because he's dealing with people who have more than one layer of, the Doctor's seen all these things and experienced all these things and been all these places, but he doesn't have like a certain depth to his emotional availability. Because that's how he's designed. That's just, maybe he used to be more so when he had his people on a planet and all that stuff. Maybe that's shut down. Or maybe all Time Lords are like that. I don't know. Or we're looking at it from humanity, like a humanistic point of view, and then a Time Lordian point of view, and then they butt heads. So yeah, of course it's going to bug me when the Time Lordian stuff really just oversteps his bounds onto the humanistic side, which it's going to because he doesn't know any better. Obviously. Because he does, it's like I said before, it's the same stuff in the same way. He has an MO. He does.
I would have thought that he actually would have known because he actually experienced it.
The feeling is gone. All of the connection to the event has been wiped. So the Doctor might remember the event, but the connection has been severed. So it is more of a just, he's looking at it from a very literal, okay, these things happened. Yep. But this part, the human part, is gone. Doesn't make sense though. Like the part that connects the experience to the emotion, to the connection of it all. If it's severed, it's just going to be information. And that's all it is to the Doctor now. It's just information. Because the bond is gone.
She did make a strong point that it appears that whenever he is around, something happens.
More than one person has said that to him.
Yes.
More than one person has said that when he's around, like death follows you or bad things happen or et cetera, et cetera.
Which does lead me to wonder, his interference, is he actually saving? Is he making any sort of cosmic betterment by tampering with the timeline, or would it have been better if he had never tampered with it in the first place?
There's a meme I'm going to show you, but it's part of a collection of stuff I've been saving to show you for a video, for a future video. But this one, I want to show you this one.
It's as if the show isn't really so much of, well, imagine that the objective would be something like to prevent the vase from being broken.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of that, the show is really about him picking up the pieces because he was the one who broke the vase.
Yeah, here's a funny...
Instead of saving the vase from being broken.
Yeah, here's a funny meme TJ sent me a long time ago, and I was saving it to show you. So I finally found it, the meme I was going to show you, which fits in perfect with what you just said. TJ sent me this ages ago. A Time Lord, but they're forbidden to interfere. This one calls himself the Doctor and does nothing but interfere. Basically, this is it. This is the show. Yep.
This actually I do understand. And well, the Doctor, is there ever an episode in which he can give a response to this? Instead of an awkward silence.
Another one of Tennant's MOs as the Doctor. He likes to stammer or just not answer.
It would have been profound if he would have been able to answer her question.
Yeah.
Well, yes, everyone would have died eventually. After all, it was 1 year before World War I. So,
well, like you said, everyone dies. People die every day.
Yes, which is actually something to think about. Whenever someone's having a good time, somebody somewhere in the world is having the worst time.
All right, so okay, we good on my notes? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here we go.
Philip's notes.
Try to make this quick because I am really uncomfortable right now. My shirt is sticking to me. I think we need to go sit in the living room with air conditioning and watch some Loki after this. I liked Martha delegating responsibility in the beginning because she was the only one that could, because the Doctor was useless, obviously. John Smith. Getting everybody out and then staying there with the family. I liked it. I like Martha. Yeah, Martha. I touched on something that you said last video with them picking that year, 1913, and they brought that up in a year. And then it also ties into talking with the matron lady. Sorry, again, I forget her name. Why Martha can't be a doctor. Because she's a female. She's a woman of color. It's 1913. But she handled it in a good way, in a diplomatic way, I thought, as much as she could, being seen as the help. I like the line that the matron said to John Smith when she was asking him where he grew up. I think it was Nottingham. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "No, you sound like an encyclopedia. Where are the places you went as a child? All those secret little hideaways." And I was like, "Ooh, I had those as well." Did you viewers out there have that as well? Like when you were a kid, you had your own little secret places you would go. I had them growing up. I had places that I would go. I thought it was a really, really nice line. A very powerful scene with the kids shooting the guns with the children's choir playing while it was happening. There's a lot of social commentary in this one. Yeah. It was pretty heavy-handed. It was, but it's worth thinking about. He wasn't willing to let the girl get hurt in any way, but then the boys were allowed to put their lives in danger with the guns. Stuff like they're kids too. This is gonna be one of this is gonna harken back to the season 1 comments and discussions I got into with people. I'm not trying to prod or poke the bear or be controversial.
What if? Well, if the episode is themed it, how could one resist?
There you go. Yeah. How can I just not talk about it? Like, I'm only human. And then just like in tears, like, why can't I be John Smith? I'm just a story. Such good acting by Tennant. Good acting by everybody, actually. But really, like, Tennant, like, brought the A game in this one. I like the conversation Martha had with the matron, where she pretty much said to her, I'm not competition. Like, you love him, I love him. But it's not like that. Again, Martha's awesome. Yay, Martha. I like the little British-ism of checking the teapot when they walked into the house. Because we wouldn't do that. I wouldn't think to do that in America if I was trying to see if someone had been home recently. I wouldn't immediately go and check the kettle, but it would make sense to do so. Because it's so ingrained in the culture over there. So yeah, I thought it was really a really nice little touch. Like, a lot of these are just direct quotes from the episode. That was just writing in fear. Like, you probably saw me, patrons, just trying to write and watch at the same time, because I can usually write without looking, but I have to hold the book up here so I can at least see in the periphery what I'm doing. Down here, I can't do that, so it's pretty much I feel like, what am I doing? It's a lot of direct quotes, and then they just had to hit us in the gut with that, him seeing his life with her and the family and the kids, and just making that decision even harder for him, knowing that he'd give all that up, the bond and that love and family and all of it. I like the line, he didn't make him a human, he made him an idiot. Same thing, isn't it? It's
well, there is an argument for that.
America, fuck yeah.
This is actually an episode in which the villains actually did get what they want.
Yeah, I'm actually circling to that right now. Good, you read it. So yeah, once the ship blew up, they were stuck in the human bodies, and they're stuck in these fragile human bodies.
Mortal.
Yeah, mortal bodies. So the father gets put in chains, the mother's thrown into an event horizon, holy crap, where she will live forever. The sister was put in a mirror, in every mirror. Amazing. And then the super cool main villain guy was turned into a scarecrow in suspended animation. And we wanted to live forever, so the doctor made sure we did.
Yes.
Fantastic. Just so good.
Well, it is what
So
they
good,
wanted. They
yeah.
wanted to live forever, and so they did, and realized, maybe they should have been a little more specific about that.
Yeah, it's it reminds me of Wishmaster, the movie Wishmaster, when they summon the djinn, and they make the wishes, but the Wishmaster always tricks, always twists the wish in a really messed up way. I like the twist on them wanting to live forever. So they got to. I thought it was just, yeah. Other than that little bit, between the doctor and the matron, fantastic.
It was an excellent episode. Actually, in my opinion, it's an episode that could be in a top 10 list of videos of what we've seen so far, of putting all of the seasons together. Are there any episodes that stand out? And yes, this one really stood out.
That'd be a fun one. That'd be a fun one to do in the future. We still have I think 4 episodes to go. 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're in the home stretch. And the rest of my notes are for my patrons over on Patreon. So yeah, overall,
An excellent episode.
Great episode. Great, both. Just two-parter. Fantastic. Just as I said, that little bit there, the few minutes there, rubbed me the wrong way. But if you know me by now, if you've watched from season 1, 1.1 to now, 3.9, and you knew this was coming, you have to know the episodes like this that are going to just push my buttons. I would just say from here on out, brace yourself. I can't, which is the beauty of the authentic reaction. I don't know what's coming. You do. So you're going to be like, ooh, in this season, in this episode, it's going to be mad. I can't wait.
Oh, these videos are about a commentary on the episode, and well, if there's something that's integral to it, we are going to have to comment about it. So how could we not?
Yeah, but I mean,
if it's controversial, well, so be it. If it's if it's integral to it,
my whole America,
then don't blame us. We didn't write the episode.
Don't blame me. I just live in America. I'm going to use that for I'm just an American. Damn it. Yeehaw. All right. Is there anything else you would like to talk about this episode? All right. We are both getting quite glazed. It is really, really uncomfortable. Maybe that's another reason I'm going tangenty on stuff. I'm just like, blah. on everything. That's going to wrap this one up. We're going to go turn on some AC and some fans and maybe watch some Loki. We'll see. As always, I don't have a fancy outro, so I will simply say thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.